right now it looks like we're kind of in a steady state. A lot of folks would have liked to have done something, but we've seen the opportunity for East Texas, Eastern Oklahoma, through the Southeast at the beginning of the year looked like the place where that was going to start. And we've already seen this shift to some kind of moderate to modest El Nino phase with talk that it could be a super El Nino. That's dried out part of that corridor down across the Gulf Coast. That's where I thought we might see the most growth in cow numbers. So when we look at it, the opportunities aren't great in terms of grazing resource.
Yeah, we get asked on the daily how our cow-calf, portfolio is doing, and our general response is, if you have access to grass, you're gonna do really well. We're hearing rumblings that there are much lighter weights now starting to go into feed yards just due to that lack of availability of grass resources. The drought monitor is something that we keep really close eye on. I think I read Train put out the herd is at the lowest level in 75 years. Is that right? I mean, what will it take in order for us to truly start to get that herd to rebuild versus more of a steady state? Like, where do you see that? What tipping point will that actually help start to rebuild that?
I think it's all driven around grass. Our survey from the beginning of the year of cow calf producers, those were the top three things that had prevented them in 2025 for growing. Availability of grass, a poor forecast for moisture, and the ranch that they're operating on was in poor grazing resource conditions. So those three things matter the most. I think if you don't have grass, it kind of trumps everything else, because we all understand buying hay isn't a way to run a cow herd. Actually, your biggest variable cost year to year going through these drought years is the swing in hay and feed resources, and trying to keep that cow herd in some kind of state of good nutrition. If we got to pay extra for hay, that's going to slow us up as well. We've already started seeing hay prices rally. To your point about lighter cattle moving out of the country into feed yards, that's true. And actually, in parts of western Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, the Dakotas, into eastern Montana, eastern Colorado, we're starting to see a lot of lightweight calves, early weaned, like 200-pound, 250-pound calves, moving through auction markets. We don't know if those are early weaned and the cow got to stay at the ranch and they're just trying to minimize her nutrition demand and extend the grazing resource they've got, or if those are actually pairs that are getting split at the feed yard. If that's the case and their pairs getting split, those cows aren't going back to the cow herd because they're not bred yet. We're not into breeding season for a lot of operations, and that's kind of headwinds for some of this expansion.